Hello. Now we'll discuss regarding the design of the keys. Now especially we'll take the rectangular type of key for which width is equal to W, H is equal to height and L is the length of key. Now in the previous lecture we have discussed that is width and height, the empirical relations are available for the width and height. Now how to design it, that we'll see. Suppose that D is the diameter of the shaft. Okay. Now whenever the key is being inserted in the hub, now what type of stresses are possible? Now first of all, this key may get sheared out between the portion of a shaft and hub. Now this is the area where it will get sheared out. What will be this area? This is the portion in the front view which may get sheared out. What is this portion? That is L is the length and W, that is L into W, this area will get sheared out. Then this is the portion where it will get fell under the compression or crushing. What will be the area of crushing? Then L into height divided by 2, that is H by 2. That will be the portion of the crushing will be there. Now let us see what are the different types of stresses are possible. Now generally the rectangular key is subjected to the two types of stresses, that is the first one, direct shear stress, and compressive or crushing stress is there. Now suppose T is the torque which is being applied on the shaft, F is the force, tangential force, which is being applied on the circumference of the shaft. Therefore the F will be calculated as T divided by D by 2, where D is the diameter of shaft, L is the length of the key, W is the width of the key, and H is nothing but height of the key. Therefore first of all, direct shear stress. Now as I have explained, the shear stress will occur on the circumference and area will be equal to the L into W. Therefore direct shear stress will be equal to the force divided by the area parallel to the force. What is the area parallel to the force? That is L into W, and force is nothing but F. What is magnitude of F? That previously we have calculated, that is T divided by D by 2. Therefore tau of direct, that is the shear stress, will be equal to the 2T divided by D into W into L. Then second type of stress is there, that is the crushing stress or compressive stress. Now this is the area of crushing where it will be in contact with the hub. Now what is this crushing or compressive stress? Will be calculated as the force divided by projected area. Now what will be the projected area? That is L into height divided by 2. Therefore sigma C will be equal to the F divided by H by 2 into L. What is this F? F is equal to T divided by D by 2. Therefore finally you will get a crushing stress will be equal to the 4T divided by D into H into L. Tau of direct will be equal to the 2T divided by D into W into L, and sigma C will be equal to the 4T divided by D into H into L. Now we are having some empirical relations are available for the design of shafts, that is width is equal to the D by 4 and height is equal to the 2 by 3 times of W, that is H is equal to D by 6 is there. Now in the previous equation L is unknown. Now we can calculate the L from that. Now the length of the key can be also determined by using some empirical relations. That is generally the length of key is being taken as 1.25 times of D to 1.5 times of D. Now generally the square key is equally strong in crushing and shear. The rectangular key is generally weak in the crushing. Okay. Now yield compressive strength will be taken as the 2 times of yield strength in shear. Okay, this is a normal relationship is there. Then we have discussed regarding the design of a rectangular key and also the square key. Now we'll see towards the design of the Kennedy key. Now Kennedy key, it is a special type of key where the keys are provided at the angle of 90 degrees. Now this is the providing of the keys at the 90 degree. Now the force will get distributed. This is the width and the height are there. Now therefore it is a tangential force will be calculated as T by 2 divided by D by 2. It will be divided. Therefore force will be, tangential force will be equal to the T by D. Then direct shear stress will be calculated by using the formula, that is T divided by under root of 2 into D into W into L, and crushing or compressive stress will be calculated as sigma C will be under root of 2 into T divided by D into W into L. Okay, this is nothing but design of the Kennedy key. Now we'll see the next part where we have to design the splines. Many times we'll come across the spline. The splines are special types of key which are the integral part of the shaft. It is not a separate, it is the integral part of the shafts. Splines are used when there is a relative axial motion between shaft and hub is required, like in sliding mesh type of gearbox, like in a gear shifting mechanism in automobile gearbox, especially in sliding mesh gearbox where such type of constructions are required. Now here the splines are cut on the shaft by milling and hub by the broaching operations. If you have seen, these are the splines which is being integral part of shaft, and this is the part of hub is there. Now the pressure will be created and the diameter will also get changed. Let us see. Suppose capital D is the diameter, major diameter of the splines, and small d is the minor diameter of spline. Suppose L is the length of the spline, number of N is nothing but a number of splines are available on the shaft, then MT is nothing but a torque to be transmitted, then PM is nothing but permissible bearing pressure. Generally it is being taken as maximum up to 6.5 Newton per millimeter square. Then area A is nothing but the total area of the spline, and RM is nothing but a mean radius of the spline. Then torque to be transmitted will be calculated as PM into A into RM. PM into RM, okay, will give the torque, and into the A on that surface area is there. Then the area is calculated as half of D minus small d, capital D minus small d into length into number of splines available. Okay, RM is calculated as D plus D, small capital D plus small d divided by 4. Therefore the total torque will be equal to the 1 by 8 into PM into ln into d square minus d square is there. Now this will give, that is the design of the shaft and design of the splines. Now we will solve one numerical based on the spline. Now suppose that numerical says that is a standard spline connection 8 by 52 by 60 mm is used for the gear and the shaft assembly in the gearbox. The spline transmits 20 kW of power at 300 rpm. Then dimensions of the splines are being given as follows, that is the major diameter is 60 mm. Now this is a special designation for representation of spine. 8 by 52 into 60 means it is a major diameter is equal to 60 mm, that is equal to capital D. Minor diameter is equal to 52 mm is equal to the small d. Then number of spline, that is N, is equal to N. Now generally the permissible bearing pressure is limited to the 6.5 Newton per millimeter square. Then coefficient of friction is to be taken equal to the 0.06. Then we need to evaluate length of the hub of the gear and the force required for the shifting of the gear. Now we are having a formula to evaluate it. Now we have all the designations are there. Now we know that is to calculate the torque on the shaft is there. Now to calculate the torque, that is P is equal to 2 pi nt by 60, that is power is equal to 2 pi nt by 60. Therefore torque will be calculated as 60 into 10 raised to 6 into the power divided by 2 pi into n, where kW is nothing but my power, it is nothing but 20 kilowatt, n is nothing but speed of the shaft. Therefore 60 into 10 raised to 6 into 20 divided by 2 into pi into 300. Therefore finally totally you will get the torque is equal to 636,619.76 Newton mm. Now we are having a formula, that is the torque on the hub is there. Now that formula is there, that is the torque, that is 1 by 8 into pm into L into n, d square minus small d square. Now using this formula we can evaluate the value of L, that is 8 into the torque value, pm is the permissible bearing pressure, n is nothing but number of splines, and major diameter of spline and minor diameter of spline. You will get a total length of the spline is equal to 110. Okay, then to find out, we have evaluated the length of the splines. We know the major diameter of spline, we know the minor diameter of the spline, then number of splines and permissible bearing pressure is known to us right now. Now we need to evaluate what are the forces are required to shift the gear. Now due to the torque and the normal force P acts on the spline, it is assumed that the force P acts at the mean radius of the spline. Therefore we need to calculate the mean radius. Now how to calculate? That is the major diameter plus minor diameter divided by 4. Therefore major diameter is 60, minor diameter is 52 divided by 4, that is the mean radius is equal to 28 mm. Now what is the value of P? Now torque is already known, that previously we have calculated. Now mean radius is known, therefore we will get the force required to shift the gear will be equal to, the P will be equal to the 22.736 kilonewton. Now the friction will also matter, therefore by using the friction force, that is equal to mu into P, therefore you will get a force that is 1364 newtons. Okay, now we have discussed that is one numerical based on the splines. Thank you.